I'm not going to be there on the meeting on Friday, but I talked to Nathan. He'll go over. I did want to cover three issues really fast that I was supposed to talk on. Number one was the light board, and I just want people to understand what went down with it. But number two is going through um, how the exchange is going to work with classes, how it is working, has been working for a number of years, and why I think it's going to hit us pretty hard. But also on poker training, on the online training, which I think all three of these are kind of connected. So one thing I want to show is, as you saw in the exchange I had with Dean Cahow, um, and there's a number of emails going back. Um, Originally, when I applied for the grant and received it, working with Dean Augustine and with the math department, with Bob Ramirez over in the math department, we were going to get the light board, and we did, because we worked together, the math department and me, Bob Ramirez and me, with the idea that this would be used on campus more and more. And the whole idea with the light board is it's a technology that is more engaging than something like right now, me sitting here and talking at the screen. Okay. And this is an example of it. This is Jeffrey Kaplan. He's the one I point to again and again. Watch him make this video. Okay. It's not high tech.
Yes, proper names do need to have something like a sense. But to understand how this argument goes, you need to understand how Mill's theory is supposed to handle a certain kind of statement, which we can call non-existence statements. A non-existent statement.
And what you can see is he's shifting things up. That shifting is more engaging. And that's what I wanted us to start to do in English 101-81. And again, I need to emphasize that Dean Augustine and I were in full agreement, and I would start to train the faculty. What I had been doing was spending time working with the light board, because what you don't see with Kaplan is he's got a crew there. He's got other people working with him, helping him with the sound. He's behind glass, and he's writing, and that writing is going to show up reversed. And so what you need is somebody to flip it for you, flip everything, and you do that in what they call post with video editing. And also the sound, he's got a microphone on this side. It's getting synced up with the camera on that side, and how to sync it up and all those things. There's all these little quirks. I came up with a method that would be fairly easy to do, and so faculty could start developing more engaging videos. That is going to be, I believe, absolutely essential as we move forward. But one of the things I want to be clear about, that was pretty much wiped out. Okay. And I really think as a department, we have to advocate much more forcefully that we develop our online skills and our online capabilities on a broader scale, because we're getting antiquated very rapidly. Let me go to the exchange. I talked to some of the other instructors on this. This is something, many of you know this exists. This has existed for years, and I've spoken to previous DE coordinators about this. And if I were a student at, this is called the California Virtual Campus, they offer courses throughout the state online. So if you are a student at Victor Valley College, which is what I entered in this for, and I'm looking for an English class, I could look for anything though, but let's say I'm looking for an English class. I could find online any class that I need to get through my degree. I don't need to necessarily take a class here at VVC. I could take any one of these campuses. I could take their version of English 101, their version of English 102, their version of British literature. I could take anything. So right now this is not clicking. Let me see. Okay, I got it. Let me see here. Find a class. I clicked on this, and it opened up this right here. This is what the student from VVC is going to see for English classes. English 1C at Shasta College, that's our English 104. Academic Reading Success Strategies for College, that's our English 81. Introduction to Poetry, that is one of Tim's classes, I guess. California literature, Asian American literature, advanced composition and critical thinking, that's 102. English, that's 1A or 101. Notice that all of our classes are basically being offered online, and those transfer here. To get into that, and you might be sitting there going, whoa, we got to get on that. You go, yeah, we do. We can't because we don't have enough people clear through the poker training. This is, and again, I know some of you guys do know about this, but let me show it to you. This is it right here. This is Peer Online Course Review. I went through this a couple years ago, about 4 years ago, and I would be willing to go through it again if one or two of you want to go through it again, or maybe 3 or 4. I think the entire department needs to go through this in order to be offered on here on the California virtual campus and be offered through the exchange. We need a number of faculty to go through this because what the online exchange offers is a consistent format. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. There's certain characteristics of their class that California Virtual Campus has come away with that they think quality courses have. And so if you're a student at Shasta College and you hear that an English 101 is open over at VVC, you know it's going to be a pretty dang good class because it passed all the poker certification. Okay, and this is, they use the A through C categories. It's really A through D, and it goes into accessibility review. Let me show you that really quickly. Here's the CBC course rubric. And this is what I would strongly recommend everybody be thoroughly familiar with. The course design rubric is this. It goes through, this is what faculty use to evaluate each other. It's this online course rubric. It's from POCR, California Community Colleges. The faculty came up with this years ago. The course design rubric. This is not the DE training to get certified here at VVC. We have a very watered down version of this. This going through the training is an enormous amount of work, but I found it incredibly valuable. Okay. They definitely let me do my own teaching, but they had the A, B, C, and D category. This allows you to break down what you see in your course and look through it from the eyes of another faculty member, because they're going to look at your content presentation. Think back to this, what Kaplan did. One of the primary reasons why I wanted the Lightboard to make it or realize it within the English department is because it's an engaging form of presentation. Me just sitting here yapping is boring, and so would any of our classes be boring because they're not engaging. The Lightboard is one way to make our presentations more engaging, one way among many. This shifts things up. He does very basic editing. This is not rocket science. It's not something anybody can do. I consider it kind of like being a dental assistant. It's not that complicated, but you don't want anybody off the street walking in and saying, open wide, I'm going to forget about it. You do need to know what you're doing with this. It's not that difficult, but it is far more engaging. Okay. Let me go back to this. This does things like interaction, breaks down your course with presentation, interaction, assessment. How do your assessments, your discussions, your quizzes, things like that work together? Are they coordinated together? Are they thorough? Are they in depth? Do they reinforce the course outline? Do they reinforce, do they assess, actually, do they go to student learning outcomes? And things like that. That's what this does. It gives a systematic method for thinking about how your course is designed and how you assess your students and how you run them through things. And then there is this aspect. This is the D. There's an A, B, C, D to this assessment, or to this evaluation, and D is the accessibility, which I think almost everybody misunderstands. I was just talking to Sherry Pierce on this. It uses something called universal design with how you put your course together in such a way that students from different backgrounds can work their way through your course. Okay, it's not just disabilities though. Okay, that's what it's primarily universal design is built around, but it's not that. Any course that works with universal design should work well and work far better for everyone in the class. And so what I want to emphasize with this is these elements, these procedures of evaluating your course, these are covered here, this outline, and this is the POCR training. This is what it goes through. It gives you a sense of how to go through, and it teaches us how to evaluate each other. We already have our peer review. We have a process of doing this. This basically formalizes it in a way that the state knows that our online classes are solid stuff, so that somebody at Shasta College could take our Introduction to American Literature and know that they're getting a quality interaction, a challenging interaction that has measurable student outcomes, that they know that there'll be solid English American Literature students at the College of Alameda. All of this transfers to the CSUs, to the UCs. That's why I want so I'll end it now. So the Lightboard was an attempt to bring an element into our online teaching. The dean stomped on it and it's going to apparently run off to the STEM. Whatever. I do think we as a department need to advocate more strongly. Number one, so that the training that's offered, you're going to see often that these advertisements for free training. Well, it's free in that you don't have to pay for it. It's shocking that we are one of the only professions that we're told free training that we're not being paid for. It's us being trained for their free element, but it's also it doesn't cost us anything, and they act like that's free. So I think we need to advocate more firmly for being paid for our training, being compensated, and being able to develop our department in a way that makes us a lively and a viable option for students throughout the state so we can be part of the exchange. We're getting obsolete, so we want to make ourselves more viable as a department, and being part of the exchange, having innovative techniques and tools and technologies in our department, and making sure we're all POCR trained so that we can go online would be a very valuable item as we move forward. All right, take care, guys.